So, okay, let me first read through this message. This message before, no, I think I'll be commenting on the questions from one sentence or paragraph to another. All right, Miss Erase, Miss Merry Christmas, Mr. Ikenna. Sorry to send a message, probably on a day you are off. Mm-hmm. I just want to get your opinion specifically on some basic issues. I feel I didn't get full answers in your videos on YouTube. All right. I think some people go cheap because probably we can't afford the standard price. In my case, a Peugeot 407. Please, a kind advice to young buyers or lovers of Peugeot like me on what the average cost of a good Peugeot 407 sedan used will cost. Um, Secondly, what is the average cost of a replacement engine, all types, and the you meant gearbox or transmission, and the pros and the cons of trying to restore an abused car. Mhm. In general, an advice to a young admirer of the brand, that is Peugeot, and the vehicle, that is Peugeot 407. If people don't say it, I will say it. We appreciate the videos and the time taken to answer questions and listen to us generally. Thank you. Have a great day, sir. Okay, this video is going to last long, so let me warn now. If you know you can't stand it, simply look away or just stop watching this video. Because I know a lot of people complain every now and then. They're just sending some stupid messages, complaining every now and then that my videos are too long. I'm always deviating from the topic, or all kind of crap. No, one person even said my videos are stressful to him to watch. Okay, so if you know you can't stand it, just walk away. Stop watching my videos. That's my best advice to you. So stop giving yourself unnecessary high blood pressure. Always complaining. So now let's start with your first sentence. You say, Merry Christmas, Mr. Ikenna. Sorry to send a message. Probably on a day you are off. Oh, come on. If you've been watching my video, like you say, you know I have nothing to do with Christmas. I'm not a Christian. I don't worship any god. I don't practice any religion. So the idea of Christmas is meaningless to me. So I'm just coming back from a fun drive. Um, so having a good time. Something to do with Christmas, Jerry. So I saw your message earlier today, but I was actually doing some work on my on one of my cars, my Peugeot car, specifically Peugeot 406. It's more like did some cleanup and some stuffs on the car. And later on, I took it out for a fun drive. So yeah, um, there's nothing. We are not uh, you know affect your post did not affect anything of concerning today as far as I'm concerned for me. So okay, you continue. I just want to get your opinion specifically on some basic issues I feel I didn't get full answers in your video. Of course, that's not how not everybody will understand everything. You just like see I do publish articles, not just videos, on some of these things I talk about on YouTube videos. In fact, I probably even before I started making videos on these things, I've published several articles on them. It's just that these days it's easier for me to just flip up my camera and start talking. When I feel I'm done, I just shut it down. So that's why I really don't care what anybody thinks about how long my video, takes. After all, there are some of our videos that are even less than 5 minutes. While some are 5 minutes, some are 10 minutes, some are less than 10 minutes, some are 30 minutes, some are even 40 minutes. So Of course, people will always want to, oh, let me not even get into it. Um, you cannot always get everything, but you can always go apart from this thing, apart from asking questions, so I will explain further. You can anything you want to talk like if you want to know more about my perspective on or particular Peugeot car, just go to any online search engine, put in Ikenna 351, then put that Peugeot model. Let's just say you want to find out about my perspective on Peugeot 407. Or just type Ikenna 351 Peugeot 407. You will find videos, articles, posts on various forums and the blog, all of them, or YouTube channel that have talked about that particular thing. It will help you. But notwithstanding, you can always ask questions and I'll do my best to answer whenever I have the chance or the time. Okay, so now you said, I think some people go cheap because uh, probably we can't afford the standard price cars, in my case, a 407. Uh, hmm, when you say go cheap, yeah, it might make sense. Okay, everybody cannot afford a car that costs 3 million naira, 2 million naira, and blah, blah, blah. But it still will not change the fact. Yeah, I wouldn't want to say, I will keep saying that. It will still won't change that fact that majority, if not 95% of these cheap cars, when I'm talking about cheap car, I mean that cheap Peugeot cars, Nigerian used cars, they are that cheap because they've been messed up. They are already a nightmare. They have been fucked up and they fucked up the users and they just realize that, man, the only way for them to continue to breathe or without going into a very deep depression or frustration is to get rid of that car and transfer it to somebody, the maintenance to somebody else. That's why they are that cheap. You can't tell me that this one is this high and the other one is so low, and you tell me there's no difference between them. There could be some subjects like you go to a bar, maybe some bar inside town, and they'll be selling a Guinness Stout 1,500. Then you come out, you go to some local area, then you find the same Guinness Stout 300 naira. Same thing, same content, same everything. No, yeah, yeah. There's always an exception in everything. Then when it comes to vehicles, Nigeria. Hmm. So it depends on how cheap you mean. Let's take for example, talking about Peugeot 407, and they know this almost like okay, I'll come to it. There's somewhere I mentioned it. Um, okay, let me just skip this one. Please, a kind advice to young buyers and lovers of Peugeot like me on what the average cost of a good Peugeot 407 sedan will cost. Okay, so now me now answer the question, give that analogy I wanted to give. Now, average cost of good Nigerian used Peugeot 407, we are looking at about 1.3 to 1.7 million on average. Yes. In fact, average is like 1.5. If you want me to just pick a figure, it's like 1.5. That's the average clean Nigerian used Peugeot 407. Now, does it mean you cannot get it less than 1.5? Of course you can. That's why I say on average, as in generally, this is it. Then, of course, every once in a while, you can get lower or you can even get higher. So, in other words, you could say standard price. So, so but when people now say 500,000 right now, 2019, December 2019, that you can get a good or clean Nigerian used Peugeot 407 at 500,000. Oh, come out there, you get the hell away from here. I mean, seriously, that's the biggest joke can ever tell me. To tell me you can get a Peugeot 407, yes, Nigeria use, that is very clean, that will not give you any trouble, that you just buy, start and drive, you must be kidding. So it's that's why I always say expect. See, there's a difference between me and most other people when they talk about some of these things. Is I'll be the last person not to talk about some negative side of everything or with that subject that other people talk about. People live so much on illusion that they always tell you, oh, focus more on positive. Of course, I love positive side of everything, but they always make it look as if, no, there is no negative side of this. Yeah, you may get that car very cheap, but expect, even if it doesn't happen, but know that that possibility is there. So if you're buying a Peugeot car of 500,000 that normally costs about 1.5 million, expect that even the body of the car is in good condition, there is possibility that you are likely going to spend so fucking much in trying to fix that car or make it usable. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Don't expect them to tell you everything about that car when you've gone there to inspect or make the purchase. It's trying to get rid of the car, so they don't expect it to tell you the whole truth. Just because I do. People bring their cars for me, ask me to help them publicize it or advertise it for them. And I don't hide anything. Some of them, even after that, they dislike me, they hate me for exposing so many things about their cars. They would have, hidden and sell off without warning. And because some of them advice affects or make them to not pull the price down because of some of the things I say, which interested buyers will not want to spend money in trying to fix. So because of that, they will price the car down so that they will have enough money to fix the vehicle. And they hate me for that. So expect that some of these things will be there. Can you get a clean Nigeria used 407 less than #1 million? Yes, it's possible. It's possible. Is there a situation where people will sell a Peugeot car or like Peugeot 407 so cheap, even though the car is very, very clean, but they just want to get rid of it because maybe they need the money urgently or something? Yes, it's possible. But I bet you anybody that have a very clean Peugeot 407, when I mean clean, I'm talking about a clean car, will never sell it at that 500,000. No matter the problem. See, he will rather use that vehicle as collateral and borrow money than sell it at that 500,000 naira, a car that worth about 1.5. Sell it at 500 because of what? I know we will have different values when it comes to cars. So, but I'm telling you, 500,000 will not get you a clean Peugeot 407. Now, there is a situation where you can get a Peugeot 407 at 500,000 and end up enjoying that car later on. And that is, you weigh, the issues with the car. You weigh it out and find out, okay, if I get this one, how much am I going to put in that eventually I'm going to enjoy at the end or after like 6 months or thereabout or a week or so, if I choose to buy it at that amount. For example, if you see a Peugeot car, let's say Peugeot 407, that the body is in neat, very clean and neat condition, the interior, same thing, but then the engine and gearbox are dead, or almost, in fact, they can't just be used anymore. Anybody that seriously wants to use that car will have to get rid of them. Yes, buying it at that 500,000 would make sense. Then to buying that engine, maybe do some other small work, you may end up spending additional 3 to 500,000 naira, and it comes back in good condition. So you now weigh, okay, does it make sense for me to buy it? Even if I can't afford to change those things, I can park the car when I can afford to deal with it, then I deal with it as I enjoy the car. In that case, it will make sense. That's what I'm saying. Don't call it a clean car. Don't say, oh, it's possible. You can get a clean 407 at 500,000. It's not possible as far as Nigeria is concerned. Right now, it doesn't matter which any part of the country. In fact, I wouldn't even buy, even if you say your car is very clean and it's outside Abuja or other northern part of the country, and you're saying that that very cheap price, I will stay away. You know why? Because there are lack of technical know-how outside the northern part of Nigeria when it comes to modern Peugeot cars. Of course, there are just very few places or very few technicians scattered over the country. But chances, 90% of chance that that vehicle may not get in the hands of somebody who understands it because of where the location of that person. So I don't, in this case, it's no longer about how clean the body is. It's likely they messed up the car and the person decided to get rid of it since there's no, in fact, probably they don't even have any mechanic that knows what Peugeot means, not to talk of how to handle Peugeot car. In that case, they probably have messed up the car and telling you it's 500,000. So yeah, circumstances. But in this case, it will make more sense. You get an expert involved. Get an expert involved to check the car to tell you, okay, these are the issues I've seen on this car, and this is what it will cost you to fix it. Are you willing to go ahead and make the purchase, knowing that you're still going to spend such amount of money for you to enjoy the vehicle? And that brings me to one of the questions where you said, well, secondly, what is the average cost of replacement engine, all types, gear, transmission, the pros and cons to trying to restore an abused car? Okay, so after the expert have checked the vehicle and realized that the engine or the gearbox or both of them are bad, or that they've messed up the wiring harness on that vehicle, everything that looks like wire in that engine bay has been fucked up, or that the engine ECU is bad, or so many things. They messed up the cooling system so that even the fan has been abused. That if I made, like, especially that Peugeot 407, most times what you find there will no longer be Peugeot 407 fan. It will be Peugeot 406 fan, which means you can, for you to reverse that fan to work as factory connection, you have to change, because Peugeot 406 fan cannot work with the wiring connection of Peugeot 407. It can never work. The system, they are complete different systems. It's not just about the fan, the control of that fan. So for you to use fan and for it to run automatically, you have to remove that 406 fan and put back 407 fan. So these are the things you now get an expert involved to check all the costs and tell you, guy, walk away. But if you don't want to walk away, this and this and this and this, what is going to cost you. So I don't come back tomorrow and start complaining that this car is killing you. Be ready for it. Now, let's talk about the cost of replacement engine. Now, we're talking about Peugeot 407. Peugeot 407, let's focus on the petrol engines. That's the one I know. I don't know much about the distance. It has how many petrol engines? EW7A, EW7J4, EW10A, EW10J4, EW12J4 3FZ, EW12J4 3FY, ES9A. So more like is it 7? I wasn't even counting. So you're looking at about 7 or 8 petrol engines. But let's just leave it at 7 in case it's higher, well, whatever. So EW7A and EW10A, they cost almost the same amount. So if you are changing the engine here in Abuja, forgotten. Last time I bought it, I've never actually purchased only the engine. I usually buy it for customers complete with the automatic gearbox. So the ones I bought so far for customers were like, that's just like 200,000, 220,000, stuff like that. Yeah. Let's just say, okay, let's just average of 220,000 with the automatic gearbox. So if you are removing the gearbox, you are probably looking at maybe a complete engine, maybe like 150, 130,000, because the gearbox, automatic gearbox attached on EW10A engine is about 70 something thousand. Used one, I'm talking about falling used. So on average, so if we are buying only the engine, just say between 120 to 150,000. It could be more, but I'm just saying because I've never purchased only the engine, so you're looking at that amount. So now you know how much it will take to buy, if it's automatic, to buy the complete. It may be cheaper in other parts of the country or cost higher, but that's I'm telling you about Abuja, considering the last time I made that purchase, which is sometime this year. Um, so let's talk about EW7J4 and EW10J4. Now, EW10J4, okay, EW7J4 first. EW7J4 comes only in manual in Peugeot 407. So, the engine, I think it's about 130. The last time I bought it for, I bought a skeleton for someone, I think it was like 100,000 or 110,000 something. Forgotten. Sometime, was it last year or this? Yeah, last year, early this year. No, that was last year. That was last year. Late last year, actually. About 110,000 or 120,000, something like that. But I think it has come down to like 90,000 now, the skeleton. So the complete engine, probably like 120 or 130,000 for EW7J4. Now, EW10J4, the engine here in Abuja costs about 150,000, 150, 150,000 naira. That was last time I made the purchase. It could be higher now or a little bit lower. I'm just telling you, just like, an estimate, average. This is what you're expecting. The gearbox, the automatic gearbox is like I said, it's something gearbox in EW10A, so that is AL4. So you're looking at 70 something thousand, or let's leave it at 80,000 mass. So 80,000 naira, the automatic gearbox. Let's talk about EW12J4. Now the EW12J4 in Abuja, EW12J4 3FZ. That one you're looking at 160,000, 160, or 17. In fact, it's possible maybe higher, but let me just leave it at 160 because we've gotten it. I bought it once at that 160,000. That was last 2 years. Yes, last 2 years. Now it could be. That was the last time I purchased or I changed engine for a customer. That 160. So it probably has gone higher. But the one I know that costs more than that 160,000, I'm very sure of, is EW12J4 3FY. That particular one is about 200,000. All these two, the EW12J4 engine, no automatic transmission. I'm not adding automatic transmission to it. So I'm just talking about the engine alone. Now, let's talk about the automatic transmission attached on this EW12J4. You are looking at, I think that's 4HP20, ZF 4HP20 or HP20, depending on what is written on them. Doesn't matter. They cost about let's just say average of 140,000 each of those automatic gearboxes. 140,000. So I think the least you may get it like 120, 110, but just know the standard price is about 140,000. So at least now you know. If you're now changing the two, engine and gearbox, so you're looking at about 2 something ish, maybe 250, 280. I don't know. That is 1 something. So for the engine, for the gearbox, 140, engine between 160 to 200,000, depending. You could get it cheaper outside Abuja. Just tell you the price in Abuja. Unless it has gone down or has gone up a little more than I know. What else? ES9A, that is the V6 engine. The V6 engine tends to be the cheapest. The V6 engine, complete one, you can actually get it around, that's complete engine, you are likely going to get it like 120,000 or 130,000. Mm-hmm. That's, just, it's around that price. It depends. Just, could it be more? Yeah, it could. But the last time I replaced it, which I think I replaced it like 2 or 3 times for customers this year, or 2 times, forgot to. But yeah, like I said, it's around between 120 to 130,000. I've never purchased any of that V6 engine more than 130,000. I've never done that. Direct to Kumbo, fully used. So within that range. The skeleton, maybe, of course. Though I've never purchased VC skeleton. I mean, some things I prefer. I advise customers just buy complete. Now, the gearbox, which is AM6, that's the gearbox in 407 V6. The AM6, honestly, I've never purchased it. Purchased it like to replace it for anybody. I know people have done that in the past, and I think it costs over 100,000 as well. I don't know the exact amount, but I know I think so. I think it costs over 100,000 if it comes to changing that AM6 automatic gearbox in Peugeot 407 V6. So there you have it. At least now you know the cost of changing the engine automatic. That's if you're buying any Peugeot 407 Nigerian use, and there's a possibility that you're changing. In fact, it is not just there, it's always there that you're likely going to change it. You're likely going to change any one of them, maybe the engine or the gearbox, because of the maintenance attitude or culture of Nigerians. They start off with wrong engine oil or wrong ATF, which over time will reduce the lifespan of that engine, most times drastically. So you may buy it and it will be doing your own ownership that the engine will pack up or the gearbox will pack up instead of the automatic. Now let's talk about the manual gearboxes. I mean, that's the reason why I didn't even want to mention why we are talking all this side, because you see, about 10 users, 10 people might own one vehicle. One will use it 5 years, sell it or give it to another person, use it another 5 years or 10 years, sell it with the same gearbox, the same manual gearbox. I mean, what are you even touching there? So manual gearbox is not something you bother yourself with to know the cost when you're buying a Peugeot car. As long as it has manual gearbox. Okay, let's assume the previous user removed the oil and put a very bad oil that eventually damaged the gearbox. Okay, how much does it cost? For EW, in fact, not just, EW engines, any Peugeot car that, Peugeot 407 that is not V6 engine and has 5-speed manual gearbox, it costs about between 10 to 15,000, maximum 15,000, as long as it's 5-speed manual gearbox. And with this 5-speed manual gearbox, you'll find them in EW or attached on EW7A, EW7J4, EW10A, EW10J4. Yes, all these ones, they are not like identical gearbox, but like I said, it's just almost same cost. You might even get it cheaper than 10,000. It depends on your bargaining power or why you are buying. Like here in Abuja, within 10 to 15, or you may get it less. It doesn't move market. So to be honest, people that actually buy manual gearbox, at least from my experience, are the ones who are converting from automatic to manual, not the people who have Peugeot car already with manual gearbox. Yeah, if you feel one or two cases, you hear that something happened to that gearbox, or the gearbox became very noisy that the owner just couldn't bear it anymore and decided to change the gearbox. Or maybe the car has an accident and it broke the gearbox that got damaged in the process. stuff like that. But people that actually buy gear bus are when they are doing conversion from auto to manual. So therefore, EW12J4 plus 407 with EW12J4, that's the 2.2 liter engine. It uses a 6-speed manual gearbox. Likewise, the Peugeot 407 V6 Coupe with manual gearbox also use 6-speed manual gearbox. So that one, the price is higher than the 5-speed. So you are looking at about 30 to 50,000 for EW12 J4, which is 6-speed. That one, let's just say, I don't think you get to 50,000. I think between 20 to 35,000. 20 to 35,000. You can get it just within that range. But that of 407 V6 manual 6-speed, I don't even know where you find it. But if you find it, you are looking at around that 50,000. Yeah. Or less, a little bit less. So then for manual, okay, if you are not good with manual transmission, that's what I mean. You are not good. It means you don't know how to apply clutches. So probably you are still learning, or you just learned how to drive manual the wrong way. So in that case, you may end up killing your clutch every now and then, or probably the previous user has already killed it and before it got to you. So the clutch for the EW engines, whether VE12, EW12J4, or EW, that for 1.80 liter to 2.2 liter Peugeot 407 with manual transmissions or gearboxes, the clutch kit, which is the release bearing, the clutch friction plate, which in Nigeria is called clutch disc, and then the clutch pressure plate. So let me repeat it: the release bearing, the clutch pressure plate, which in Nigeria calls clutch disc, and then the clutch friction plate. These 3 items usually comes as a kit. So the original one costs between 35 to 40,000 naira for these engines I've mentioned, whether 6-speed or so. It's only the V6, 407 V6 scope, that one is different. Last time I passed it was around 50,000 for the 407 V6 6-speed manual. You use the same one, that of 406 and the rest. So now you know the cost. So okay, moving on. In general, any advice to a young admirer of the Peugeot car or of the Peugeot vehicle or car 407? Okay, I don't know. Advice? It depends on which advice. Is it the advice of buying the purchase, or advice of how to maintain? Because I've talked about some of these things already. Like, if I want to talk about them now, you're looking at another 2 hours or so. So that I'll tell you, which I mentioned when I started this video, is don't go and buy these Peugeot cars all by yourself. When you don't see you are a novice to the system. These are modern cars. They are electrically controlled. See, my emphasis is more on the electrical. If you watch some of my videos, I've talked about buying Peugeot cars or about abused Peugeot cars. I always tell people, I really don't care about the state of the engine or the gearbox when you are buying a used Peugeot car, whether Tokunbo or Nigerian use. I really care less. I don't care about them. I always tell people that pay me to get a car for them. See, I'm less interested in these things. The best I can do for you is to find one that you can, as first, to be very clean, the body, the interior, and the electrical. Then, if the engine is now okay, or if I want to even look at the engine or the gearbox, okay, at the moment, they appear okay. Because if you really want to know the current state of the engine, you have to use that car for more than a day, like 2-3 days, or you drive it for like 3 hours in that day. Nobody, no dealer or owner of the car, whoever that send the car, will allow you to do it. Because that's when you can tell, okay, this is the level of oil in this engine. You've driven it for 2 hours or 3 days and it still has not dropped. The level is still where you met it when you last checked. And then you can say, yeah, okay, the engine, the combustion chamber, no, not, yeah, but like the combustion chamber is still okay. Or you can, another way to know the state of engine is to do, what's it called, compression test. Yes, I have the tool. But no owner will allow you to start to dismantle everything on the engine to check the compression of each of the cylinders for you to know whether to buy the car or not. I wouldn't even allow you if you are my if the vehicle is mine. I wouldn't do that. Nobody will allow you. So it's pointless to me trying to find what. That's why when I look at people each inspecting cars, the first thing they will do, they will go and start the engine, accelerate it to know the sound, whether the sound is good enough. That's meaningless. No matter how sound or sweet the sound is, if it's burning oil, you may not know until you've driven it for like 3 days or so, only for find out that you wake up the third day, you won't find any oil again in the engine without any leakage. What will you do? So it's meaningless. Pay less attention to the engine and this thing. First of all, find out how is the car, the structure, the skeleton. The skeleton of a car matters. Does it have any serious impact or accident that happened to it that affected the skeleton or the chassis of the vehicle? Because these are the things that will make you pay attention. Sometimes when you're on the road, you see some vehicle maybe in front of you or behind you. You see that what the car is no longer in a straight line. You see that either the front end will look as if it's turning into the other lane, while the rear end is facing the other side of the road. These are the things that affect. You have to look and make sure that the skeleton of that car, the chassis of that car is still intact. Then you look at the body. Has it taken a lot of what's it called, body fillers? Once they have applied too much body filler on the car, walk away. Don't even bother. Because it's just a question of time. Once you have those body fillers, even if you do it and paint the car, after a while they'll start rusting and that particular place will cake. It will look swollen a little and start crack. The body filler will crack and you just mess up the entire thing. It's only when you do it for the first time and spray the car, it still look neat until they start to crack and the shape. You just change the shape of the vehicle. So those are things you check, and then doesn't mean that a small impact with body filler is too much. What I'm saying, the entire vehicle, if there's a serious place, for example, if I put a body filler on the fender or something, you can always change the fender. You can buy it. Once it starts showing you that side, remove the fender, put another one, spray it. Sometimes you can even get a used fender with the exact color of yours, so you may not even need to change it, and it still be intact. You don't need to spray the fender. I'm talking about, for example, the entire frame. If the car has an accident and somersault, it will affect the roof. Forget it, don't buy it. Trust me. So that's the thing I think in terms of purchase. In terms of ownership, that's the maintenance cost. Just adhere to I've talked about so many of these things, what to do, especially Peugeot 407. Don't mess up the electrical guy. The Peugeot 407 will not tolerate it. It will deal with you. If you know you cannot diagnose your car properly when something is wrong, because it will always tell you or start warning you that something is wrong, and the warning will come up electrical. If you know you don't know how to diagnose it and you're not ready to pay somebody that can diagnose, or you're not ready to buy those tools yourself and start diagnosing it yourself, then don't buy it. Period. Don't buy Peugeot 407. It doesn't matter how harsh or bad you feel of what I'm saying. Don't buy it, because you're going to complain. You're going to feel bad eventually and realize all this things I'm saying. The difference between me and the users of Peugeot 407 is that the only experience they have is what they are using. But in my own case, almost every Peugeot 407 users, or as what in my case, what I'm trying to say, majority of these users come to me or call me or bring their vehicles sent to me, and I see some of the issues some of these users are not experiencing. Somebody may tell you now, I don't know what I'm talking about. After I don't own a Peugeot 407, how will I know? However, you've forgotten that weekly basis, I probably have fixed up to 10 407 or diagnose and work on them. So you probably don't even know anything about your car. Only difference is that maybe it's because you're not abusing your car and you're not experiencing those things those people are complaining are experiencing. So you see, in that case, you may be saying, I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't own a Peugeot 407. And you own a Peugeot 407 and you're not experiencing it. It's not nothing. It's not a bad thing though. It's a good thing that you are not even experiencing it. So I would say kudos to you. But don't say I don't need to own a Peugeot 407 to know what I'm talking about because yeah, it's not a career to you. To you, it's just a car you use on top, all those things. But somebody, this is his career, this is his time, or he specializes in that thing. So he knows so much about it that you don't know. You know so many things other people are experiencing about that particular model of Peugeot that you probably have never experienced. So don't mess up your Peugeot 407 electric car. It will mess you up. They use CAN bus. You can check it online. Go and check full CAN bus or full multiplexing system. Each wire, let me put it in a simple, each wire on Peugeot 407, if you see one wire that passes on some place or other, that wire is probably carrying out about 10 functions. Unlike the older models, that have like each of those functions, each of those 10 functions, the campus one is handling, the older ones have wire on its own that carry that thing. Let's assume that one wire in Peugeot 407 is controlling the headlight, is controlling the signal light, is controlling the horn, is controlling this or that. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying just to give you an idea what I'm talking about. Meaning that once you overload it, it will crash the system. Why on the other one they have different wire? Okay, this one, this controlling the horn. This wire goes to the headlamp. This wire goes to the signal light. This wire goes to the rear light. Separately. So the system is so for the multiplexing. They design it in such a way that they are so interconnected that any small error, any small abuse on the DC, it will crash all the components, all the modules, the ECUs. If ABS start become faulty, before you know it will affect other system of the vehicle. But the 407 users can bear witness on that. Any small thing, before you know it, it will start telling you, stop. Your power, what's it called? Your power steering will start giving you warning that the power steering is faulty. ABS is faulty. This one is faulty. Yet, it's probably that what is causing it has nothing to do with power steering, but it has affected it to the system of the power steering already. So that's how bad it is to abuse this vehicle. Don't bother. You see, it's a waste of money to go and buy a clean, non-abused Peugeot 407 and end up abusing it because the abused ones are very, very cheap. So you can as well don't even bother buying that non-abused one that are very expensive. Go and buy that abused one because what's the point that you end up wasting so much to buy the non-abused ones only for you to put it back in the shape of the ones that abuse? So don't waste your money in that case. You can first buy the abused ones. If the trouble becomes too much, you can throw it away and move on. So that's my only advice. You have to choose. Can I afford to pay people that can diagnose it very well? Or can I actually start doing it myself by learning how to diagnose the car, by learning what not to do to bring all these problems that most people are complaining of? A lot of users are enjoying their Peugeot 407. They don't understand what these people are talking about when it comes to my car is doing this to me, this car is doing this to me. They don't understand that because they don't experience it. They are not doing those things on the Peugeot 407 that is messing up the systems. Why some people from very first day they bought that car. For the very first day, not like they use it, their nightmares have started. Right that moment they exchanged the money and collected the key of that car, their nightmares have started then. In terms of cost of restoring a car, see, you have to understand that people that spend over 700,000 in the very first day they bought a Peugeot 407, 700,000 they spent within a month trying to get that car in shape and still refuses to come into shape. One problem or another, they are wasting money buying. You know, there was a time somebody bought a Peugeot 407 right-hand drive, converted from right-hand drive to left-hand drive. He bought it to me, and according to him, he has already changed the ECU. At that time, that was like 2013 or 2014. Yeah, and that time the engine ECU cost about 170,000. He had changed it, and after a while, the issue started again. He brought it to me. I did all the diagnosis. It was showing something was wrong. But I couldn't tell what it is. The ECU was not working well. So, no, we couldn't tell what was making the ECU not to work well. Is it that the ECU is bad? But then he just changed this ECU. And when he changed, it was working well. All of a sudden, it stopped. You know. So he ordered for another ECU. In fact, this time they ordered it straight from Lagos, and they put it right there. Not like, oh, a week later. Right there, the ECU got burnt. The one they bought. He bought 170,000. Right there in my presence, it got burnt. It was just so smoke coming out of it. Immediately they plug it in. And they started doing exactly the way the other one was. It meaning that there was some terrible wrong connection done inside on that car that was burning the ECU. After he has spent close to 500,000 naira changing ECU, everything, he still bought that one that he did in my presence. What he eventually did, he towed the vehicle to Okocha Motors. It's a dealership, Peugeot dealership. Took it there. They weighed everything and gave him a bill of 900 and something, 900 and something thousand naira to fix the whole thing. And what does that mean? They have this because they realize that it's pointless trying to find where they did that wrong connection. See the ECU keep burning. That they have to change everything that looks like wire on that car. They buy a complete left-hand drive one, start from the beginning, change all the ECUs, everything. The bill was for 900 or something. They told I remember that time they said, okay, they would tow the car to another place or something. I saw this guy sometime early this year. Because after that, I've forgotten, we just lost contact. I saw him, they said, I asked him, he was even driving a 406 at that time. The day I saw him, sometime this year, he said, I also, how about that car? I was actually expecting him to tell me that, they scrapped it. He said, no, they still packed it. That ever since then, his car just packed. No, I'm telling you this thing because you don't understand. Until you get into it and you start crying and like you're a victim. That's why I'm explaining all these things. People always make noise and say, oh, why would I spend 1 million naira only for... You will find out that most times you end up spending over 1 million naira when you buy an abused car. Still will not be able to fix the car. Because as you are buying those parts and putting, it's damaging them. That's how bad it is. That's why I say, no matter what you do, run away from electrically abused Peugeot car. It doesn't matter whether it's Peugeot 407 or anything. Anyone that they mess up the electrical, avoid it like a plague. It doesn't matter the state of the engine. It's meaningless. Engine is a pie. Just buy another one and put. If the gearbox is bad, buy another one and put. If the clutch is bad, buy. If the suspension is bad, buy another one. But if it's electrical, once they've shot up or pushed out the wires, guy, I'm not saying it's your funeral, but you're not going to find it funny. So if you want my advice, now you got it. Okay, as for people don't say it, I'll say it. We appreciate the videos and time you taking. See, I understand what you mean by, that most people choose not to show appreciation. Of course, I'm not a Christian, like I said earlier, but I know when I was, because I studied the Bible for years in the seminary. So I know exactly what Jesus meant there back then when he said he healed how many people? 10? I've forgotten. And only out of them, only one came back to show appreciation. The rest walked away, So that is human being for you. I'm not really interested in if I was doing it for me to get appreciation, I wouldn't even bother. I always tell people that I won't be talking about Peugeot on the channel. I have so many things. If you watch some of my videos, you see that there are some topics that have nothing to do with Peugeot cars completely. So I won't be talking about it. Humans are humans. Most times, even you that is saying this thing, you'll be surprised that one day you may wake up one morning and be among those to criticize and show the world how wicked and stupid and mean I am. Trust me, you know, that's human beings. Human beings fickle, you know, because every human is so selfish to the point that he doesn't even care how detrimental it is to the person nearest to him, as long as everything, it keeps benefiting him. Once there is no longer benefiting something, or it has gotten everything he wanted, and is no longer benefiting much from that person, every other thing that person is doing is negative. As far as he is concerned, he will turn it upside down, and all the goods you've done is fabulous, is condemned. That's human being for you. If I'm saying, even you doing this, these are the things I've seen about human beings. I realized that, honestly, I actually understood the monks. Yeah, the monks that I decided to go into hiding, go into bush to stay. Some stay, isolate themselves to the point of staying inside monastery. Some go into bush forever. I just stayed there until they move on from there, and the glass take care of their diseased bodies. It's difficult to deal with human being because it's the majority. I'm talking about majority. So yesterday, just this yesterday, not even like some days ago. Yesterday, somebody came where I was working on someone's car and said he was just coming from one mechanic workshop, and they met somebody there who was saying so many bad things about me, calling me all kinds of names, telling everybody there who probably never even met me or knew who I was, how bad and wicked I was. After he bought his car to me or something, blah 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 blah. That I'm so mean. I'm so saying so many things. Do you know the funny thing? Why this man was saying that he was surprised, that he didn't know that I was this, that I have this other bad side. This man was complaining, even though he had not explained that for me anyway. So when he was saying that, I was like, could you believe that even that place he took his car to fix, he's still benefiting from me, even though he's condemning me. Because I remember that the person he took that car to, I actually went to that person and to make the video of him, interviewed him in a video, collected his phone number, posted it everywhere online, everywhere I could find. I have social media platform account. I posted it everywhere. I said, hey, if you have an issue with your Peugeot, I trust this guy. He can be able to fix it for you. This and this and that and this and that. And that was where he got that information and took the car there. Yeah, he's still there condemning me, even though he's not benefiting from the information I put online. You know? So that's human being for you. Trust me. If I've gone so spiritual that I don't see, when I look at some of these things, I know that we vibrate on different frequencies. A lot of people are just too fucked up. So that's why sometimes it's easier for me to cut them off. There's no point trying to convince somebody or try to show him the light. He's too down there. Let him stay there and move on in life. I block people a lot. I do that a lot. So once I realize, no, it's pointless. Bye bye. I move on. You move on. After all, the last time I checked, we all came into this life on different days, different time, different hours. Since I was born till this very moment, I know so many people I met has already passed away. So it's not like so many of I met at that time that I schooled with in the primary, secondary, higher institution. They're all in their different phase of life, doing their own thing. We probably will never meet again. And I'm still meeting new people. So don't think that because I met you today, that if I stop seeing you or if I cut you off, I won't be able to meet other great people in life. That's mistake people make. What to do is I cut you off. Hey, it's time. That's last time meeting you. I move on. I do it very fast. Once see, personally, every man has a line. But I understand that some men, they are so dumb that they keep shifting the post. But I don't shift my post. We all have subjects and have so many things we have We have, or if I will call it part of its resistance. Yes, there are some things, even when somebody says, it's not a big deal. This, oh, no, it's not a big deal. But there's a particular subject you say, you know what? No, once you cross this line, it's over. So I have my own line, even though some people, because the society expect them, no, you're supposed to keep sucking it in, let everybody trash on you, jump on you, say every car, control you. No, keep shifting the post. Keep shifting the post. There's no line. Just keep shifting it until you suck in and one day you realize that you are fucked. So that's the thing. But for me, no, once you get to that line, no, that's all. We are done. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that, no, I think this is the end of the road for us. Period. I have a line. And you don't, once you cross that line, that's all. Doesn't mean because you cross it, you're a bad person. It just means that, no, I just can't let it continue beyond that line. So I don't really seek for people's appreciation. I just do what I do. I say what I want to say because I don't know if I'll wake up the next morning. This might even be my last video. Or could be more videos coming. So if I flip on my phone or flip on my camera, I say whatever I want to say. When I'm tired, I switch it off. If you don't want to watch it, fine, find another place you watch. If you want to watch it, you watch it. It's not like I'm, the funny thing is, people don't, let me put it in a different way. People call me to pay me to buy cars for them. People call me or call and say, hey, you know what? I want to pay your consultancy service so that anytime I need something on Peugeot or explanation or issues, I can always reach you and they give me that attention and they pay. They pay 20,000. They pay all kinds of. So such people, no, you don't even wait. Sometimes I say, hey, how is it going? How is the car going? If they say, oh, this car, sometimes I say, hey, you know what? Don't worry. I will call them. Even if I spend 1 hour on the phone talking to them, I don't complain. They pay for that service. This is how I see it. Exchange of values. You need something. This person has the value of something you actually need. Then you come to me and say, hey, because of your knowledge on this, which I value a lot, I will need this value somehow, or for you to provide this service to me so that I will benefit from it. Now it's not up to me to say, okay, because of this value that I have, I consider that if you give me this another thing I find valuable or as in commensurate to that value you want to extract from me, if you give me this particular thing which I value, then I will change our own values. I give you mine, you give me yours. That's how I see it. But most people, when they pay somebody to do something, they consider that person a slave because to them, because you are the one giving out money, you are the superior one. Then the other person who is doing the work now is your slave. So you talk to that person anyhow. So people actually pay me money and I provide us. I don't call online to make video to teach them something. We talk about, there are so many of them. We discuss offline. Even if we have to talk online, it's probably through WhatsApp, chatting, or all those things. I go directly to what they pay for and discuss them. But when I come online to talk about some of this, because I'm doing it for free, some of these things I talk about what people are paying me to do for them offline or privately. Then you find people who still come to you, ask you for a favor, only for them to not demand from you how you are supposed to do that favor for them for free. And when you don't do it for them, oh, you are a very bad person. You are a very wicked person. Oh, why could I watch that? Why you are not, I'm supposed to do it for free exactly the way I want it. That is human being for you. Yes, I know the same people will say, look at it. This is about Peugeot car. This subject is about Peugeot car. Now he's talking about some other thing. Yes, that's who I am. If you know who I am, you know that I cannot come from another perspective. I will always be that person. No matter the subject I'm talking about. Until you understand that I'm not religious. I don't believe in whatever religion, your morals or principles you have. I don't worship any God in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe in what you call marriage. I don't care about whatever you find in women, how attractive or this. You believe that your penis, you will rather do anything as long as your penis serve woman. As long as your penis can enter a vagina, you do anything it will take to put your penis there. Because of that, you always pander to women. You always do anything that makes a woman smile or woman consider good. You do anything for the sake of making a woman happy. No, I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit about what you call society, how society, what they expect you to do, or what society considers morals, or what society considers professionalism, or what society is crap to me. None of them. So only understand that if you are coming to me expecting that I'm supposed to behave the way you that already programmed to do all those other things, expecting I will do the same way, I'll talk the same way to you, then don't come at all. Now, I'm talking generally to everybody who is watching this video. I'm not talking to the person that, made this request. So that, understand that, yeah, you always get that side of me. It's there. You can never change as long as I'm breathing. Unless you want to pull the trigger, I end it. Come on, go ahead. But make sure you end it. Because if you don't end it, if I take that gun away from you, I'll start from the head to the toe. That's the kind of person I am. I don't have time for it's bad or it's good. But one thing I know for sure is I don't go into any man's space. Watch me, look at what I do online. Don't see me go into another man's group and start posting this, saying that. I stay in my own lane. I stay in my own kingdom. I just post it, have an account there, talk about my kingdom. So if people find it interesting, they come in there just like you guys are doing. Which you are watching from my own side. You are just peeping inside my own kingdom, inside my own space. You don't see me in your own channel posting or challenging you or anything. I'm in my own. So it's not like I'm disturbing anybody. So if you are watching it, it means you want to watch it. If you subscribe to my channel, it means you want to subscribe to following or watching certain things. If it doesn't please you anymore, unsubscribe, walk away. But to tell me, no, I have to do it this way. Also tell me I'm supposed to do this video to the way it pleases you. Fuck you. Seriously. Fuck you. I don't care. To tell me, I'm always deviating. I'm always mixing things up instead of me to stay on topic. Fuck you. I don't care how you say it. I say it the way I want it. If you don't like, pay me. I will talk directly what you paid for. But if I'm doing it for free, if I'm talking about it, it means I'm saying it the way I want it. I don't care. I'm saying it because somebody said that kind of stupid message yesterday. I don't care what anybody believes in. When people who are religious are talking about, you always hear praise the God. Oh, God has done it for me. Oh, this and that. Oh, he didn't get the job because he was not praying. Maybe he has sinned. He didn't get this one. He has sinned. Maybe I'm not driving this car because God has not answered my prayer. Or maybe everybody is always referring to something that is off the topic of what they are discussing. But when I talk about mine, when I want to talk about mine in my own way, I'm deviating. Fuck you, seriously. So, like I said, I know this video is going to be long. If I have more things, I'll probably say, about Peugeot 407. There's so many of them. But I will add this, because for what you're coming here, that I understand what you mean, that some people actually buy because truly they can't afford those expensive ones. But are you willing for what it takes when you buy that cheap car or cheap Peugeot 407, willing to give that patience or put that resources to make it work so that at the end you come out of it smiling? In 2004, I started a project of converting then Peugeot 504 GL to 505. Yes, 2004. I could remember exactly November 2004. That was when I first bought a skeleton of Peugeot 505. Then I was using Peugeot 504 GL. Sometime in 2005, early 2000, I think it was in January 2005. You know what I did? I bought a donor car, another 505, with the house complete interior and some other things, because I bought skeleton of 505, and the interior of 504 cannot match the interior of 505, but the mechanicals, most of the mechanicals will match. So I need another donor car instead of buying it one. So I went and bought another donor car that the engine caught fire and burnt, so damaged everything in the front. So they now sold the entire vehicle without the engine. So I bought that second car. So meaning I have a project car and a donor car. In fact, how do I even call it? I have in fact, more like 3 vehicles. The Peugeot 504 GL, where I take the all mechanicals. The skeleton, the empty body that was still in good condition, nothing inside that car, just the shell. No windscreen, no door glasses, nothing. And then the other half car that has everything internal, the body or the glasses, everything was intact. And I bought that one. So 3 vehicles. You know what? It took me, I finished that conversion in 2006. I started it in November 2004, ended it in 2006, and it became available. I started using that car in 2006 until 2008, when I left East Anambra State and left the vehicle with my father. So it took me how many? 2004, 2000, and 2006. About 3 years to complete that conversion. It was not like, yeah, you call it conversion, but it was a project. And it was very fun while I was doing it. Did I spend so much? Of course I did. There are some parts I bought that didn't match. There are some of my parts that are matched. It's a project. It consumes money and time. So if you are buying such cheap car, if you are going to that car, to understand that you are going to end up spending more you would have cost to buy one in good condition. That's where I'm coming from. The time and the resources money is going to consume will be high. The only thing is, you might do it like, okay, for now, I can't afford to put the whole money into one place. But if I buy this one, then from time to time, as I'm getting it small, I'll now be, resurrecting the car small until it comes to a good shape. Because I know how much it costs to do that conversion, which ended in 2006. Which, if I had that money, it would have gotten me a very, in fact, even less than what I spent in that conversion, that we used to get another clean 505 in good shape. That's the raw truth. Not most people will not tell you all this. They will not tell you about it until you go into it. Now, like, man, come on, it's not that easy and cheap as you think, unless you have the money. Can I do a project car? Yeah. Yes, I can, because while doing it, I learn a lot too. But if you're not into cars, if you're not technically there, if you don't have the resources, are you sure you're willing to go into that? So if you're buying a cheap Peugeot 407, I will tell you not to buy it, but make sure you go with somebody that understands that car vehicle system, understand the electrical, most especially the electrical. So even after checking out the body, the other thing, if the electrical is in good state, you can go ahead and buy it. Then with time you build up the mechanicals, if that's where the problem is, if that's why the owner is selling it cheap. Or maybe the body is bad, you can buy it. Later you find the skeleton. The skeleton that, there's usually scrap cars. Maybe the skeleton is clean. All you need is buy up that skeleton, 100, 200,000, to transfer all the mechanicals, the electricals, the interior of the car to that skeleton, spray the car, boom. But it's a project. It takes time and money to do that. So these are things. But if the electrical is bad, I hope this video has served the purpose. So if you have more questions, you can ask. I can always do more videos. All right.